Laptopy tablet versus tablety laptop. The Apple iPad Pro versus Microsoft Surface Pro 8. For general comparison, let's go over the raw stats. First, let's go over the externals. The iPad Pro starts at $800 for the smaller version and $1,100 for the larger one, while the Surface Pro 8 just starts at $1,100. Both of these are also eligible for student discounts to varying extents, so keep that in mind. Now, for sizes, the iPad Pro has two, the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch. And with these two different versions, we also have two different screens. Both versions of the iPad Pro come with 120Hz displays, but the top-of-the-line version comes with mini LED and high peak brightness, while the Surface Pro 8 only has one size, 13 inches, and also 120 Hz, but it does not come with mini LED or that high of peak brightness. But it does have a helpful kickstand. And for connectivity, the iPad Pro only has one single USB port, meaning you'll probably need a dongle if you want to have a few accessories. While the Surface Pro 8 is a bit better with a couple USB ports, a headphone jack, and the Surface Connect port. For cameras, the iPad Pro comes with three different lenses, a wide, an ultra-wide, and a LiDAR scanner, which allows for it to be able to record at 4K and cover a large space, and also be helpful for those who want to use the AR technology. And on top of that, it also has a pretty good camera up front. It also comes with Apple's Center Stage feature, which keeps you in frame as you move around, while the Surface Pro 8 only has two cameras, with the rear being able to record at 4K. So all in all, for the externals, the iPad Pro has a better display and camera setup, while the Surface Pro 8 has better connectivity and a few neat features. Now, for internal specs, the iPad Pro sports the M1 chip, while the Surface Pro can either have an Intel Core i5 or i7. And here are the single core performances of these device configurations, and here are the multi-core. As you can see, the iPad Pro is a bit faster, and for storage, both devices start with 128GB, which is fairly low, but they can be configured with more at an increasing price. And they both have facial recognition software, with the iPad Pro sporting Face ID and the Surface Pro using Windows Hello. And lastly, for the operating systems, the iPad Pro runs iPadOS, while the Surface Pro 8 uses Windows 11, which are two completely different softwares that will guide much of my verdict. But in summary, the iPad Pro has faster internal specs. And now, before getting on to my verdict, let's go over some reviewer acclaims and criticisms of both devices. The iPad Pro was praised for its processor, battery life, and center stage feature, and it was criticized for its operating system, lack of a built-in kickstand, and front camera placement. The Surface Pro 8, on the other hand, was praised for its design, kickstand, and overall typing experience, and it was critiqued for its accessories sold separately, connectivity, and price. So, let's discuss which one you should buy. Firstly, in these types of apples to oranges comparisons, the decision always comes down to your needs. Specifically, will you be taking a lot of notes or drawing, or will you be running a lot of different computer-esque programs? In other words, do you want a primarily tablet experience, or more of a computer one? This is because, as stated previously, both these devices run different operating systems. The iPad Pro runs iPadOS, which is based off of the iPhone mobile operating system, which means you'll be limited in things such as multitasking, but you will have a far superior tablet experience with iPadOS's inherent touchscreen integration. But on the other hand, the Surface Pro 8 runs full 64-bit Windows 11, meaning you'll be able to do anything a typical computer can, but not everything a specialized tablet can. So as you can tell, there are advantages and disadvantages with either choice. But as it stands, my recommendation is, if you have another computer, get the iPad Pro. It's faster, has more note-taking apps, and it's built to be a companion to your main device. But on the other hand, if you don't have another computer, I recommend getting the Surface Pro 8. Even though it doesn't have all the cool and neat features of the iPad Pro, the Surface Pro more than makes up for it with its greater functionality, being that it's a 2-in-1 and it runs the Windows 11 operating system. At this moment, you still can do more with Windows 11 than you can with iPadOS, and that greater freedom is needed for your primary device. Despite all of this though, I recommend checking both out at your local Best Buy just to make sure that you get what you want and especially what you need. But ultimately, all of this is your decision based on your preferences. Don't just watch my video on this. I've linked many more down in the description to view at your discretion. My name is Seeroos. It's spelled like Cyrus, pronounced like Seerooster. Just take out the ter. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your purchase and have a wonderful day.